and that's all. ready to go at the University of Tampa at the Memorial Family Stadium. Taylor Sword and Josh Sperber bringing you the start of spring sports at UTampa for the year 2026. The Tampa Spartans recently suffered defeat after their greatest season ever, a trip to the national championships. They came up just short against a team from Texas. It's actually the exact same team that eliminated Oklahoma Christian in regional play. We'll talk about both of their season-ending series later in the broadcast, but for now, let's give you Tampa's starting lineup, at least in the circle. It's Glenn McGinnis. She's one of the few returning players for this Tampa team, and Josh, I think the Spartans are very happy to at least have Glenn McGinnis back.
You're absolutely right. I think any coach, you talk to them in between seasons for a college team like this, the thing that they want most to keep on the softball team is absolutely a pitcher, and Glenn McGinnis might just be the best one that Tampa has. No surprise that she's starting this season had a 17-6 record last season with a 1.54 ERA and 29 total appearances, most among Spartan pitchers in 2025.
She did have the third highest team ERA, but that's saying something when you have Mara Gilhouse's .75 ERA season. Kate DeSimone not too far away from McGinnis at 151. But as we get underway with the first pitch, let's give you the Oklahoma Christian lineup. Leading off will be Macy George. And the season starts with strike one. Batting second will be Kylie Brewster, the second base player. Batting third is Martin Yeager, the catcher. Batting fourth is Denai Lopez, the first base player. And batting fifth in center field, it's Cadence Brewster. Batting sixth is Callie Rupp. Batting seventh, Allie McDougal. Batting eighth is Maddie Drummond. And rounding out the order, it's Sydney C., the left fielder. 1-1, flared foul, and that'll bring it to a 1-2 count. So a good start for McGinnis, getting ahead of George. A big thing that McGinnis is known for is strikeouts. Had 117 in over 136 innings last year. Will she start 2026 with yet another? Hit sharply to short, easy scoop, easy throw, one away. I think that it might have been picked up by Kenzie Reynolds on a catch, but the throw to first to Salisbury is clean, calm, and out number one is secured. That will bring up Kylie Brewster.
Yeah, George was running towards first, but it looked to me like that throw was a formality. It seemed to me like that ball went straight into the glove of Reynolds. And either way, though, really nice play at short on a hard-hit ground ball or low line wire.
You can't always say that those plays are routine, especially when you've got a younger lineup like the Spartans. They have a ton of freshman faces this year, thanks to so many seniors and graduate students having graduated after a dominant run last year. It's been 3 to 4 years of Tampa having the same star players, so it's really exciting to see some fresh faces for New Tampa to kick off 2026. As that one's fouled into the bullpen again. 2 strikes from McGinnis to Brewster.
But the one thing that does come with having such a high-ranking Tampa top-ranked team in the Sunshine State Conference, second in all of Division II softball, a lot of expectations despite losing a lot of their lineup.
McGinnis living up to the hype as the only upperclassman on the roster. Strike three, her first strikeout of the season.
And just a really nice pitch. She was going lower inside, not over the middle of her plate with the first few pitches, but then goes right upstairs the rise ball, and as soon as Brewster realized it, she was already swinging.
Did she roll out? Yes, she did strike one, and it's Marty Yeager stepping up to the plate. Yeager is a sophomore out of Oklahoma. The Christian side has a lot of returning juniors and seniors compared to Tampa having just one junior being an upperclassman. It's a team that has experience, and we'll see if that experience can pay off, but for now, they are being kept quiet by the Spartans. 2 strikes, 2 away. McGinnis to close out the inning. Up high, didn't fall for the riser that time.
Looks like the same 3-pitch sequence that McGinnis had on Kylie Brewster in the last at bat, and Yeager didn't fall for it.
The 1-2. Swing, and this side retired. 3 up, 3 down, 2 strikeouts from McGinnis. She is off to a hot start for 2026, and the Spartans will be off to play shortly when we come back on the SSC Digital Network. broadcast. And we're back from the Murray Family Stadium. Taylor Stadium, Josh Sperber, first game of the year for the Tampa Spartans. Let's give you a look at the New York Tampa lineup. It is Aubrey Zekman leading off, followed by Jenna Newpaver. After Newpaver, it's one of Tampa's returning players, Kenna Kreiber. After her, it's Cam Feast. Batting fifth is Carly Salisbury. Batting sixth, Abby Johns. Batting seventh, Dre Trelick. Batting eighth, Henry Ritter. Batting ninth, Kenzie Reynolds. As that will be ball one to open the season for the Spartans at the plate. It's Jill Dixon in the circle for Oklahoma. She is the senior ace of their rotation.
And unsurprising, both teams trotting out their best pitcher maybe from last season. Two women who have just delivered so much to their respective programs. You like seeing them get the ball first on opening day as they try to set the tone for the season.
Meanwhile, it's a new face to the Tampa roster leading off for Tampa. Aubrey Zekman is a freshman out of Wesley Chapel. Her first at-bat for the Spartans, leading off today. Tries to drop the bunt. It's foul. The count goes 1-2.
How's that for throwing them right into the fire, Taylor? First start, first at-bat is the leadoff at-bat. I mean, obviously someone's got to do it, but, it's cool to just see her going right out there. First at-bat of the season, first at-bat of her career, leads off the first game of the season.
There's just two players on this lineup that have been returning Spartans in the starting nine that are upperclassmen, that being Kenzie Reynolds and Joey Trelick, as that's going to go back to level count now, although slight advantage still to Dixon, with Reynolds being a redshirt sophomore and Joey Trelick also a redshirt sophomore. Might be junior, not sure if you have to update our rosters. Either way, the 2-2. Did she go? No, she did not. Yes, she did. The umpire just didn't go well behind home plate. No. She was headed back to the dugout. It's a full count.
Yeah, I think what happened was that the catcher, Yeager, let out a scream after that pitch got in, and I think Zekman mistook it for her getting excited about strike three, even though the umpire didn't make the call.
That one hit to third. Was about to go short, but intercepted before it reached her. Good play by Casey George, one away, and it's a first out for Dixon and Central Christian Oklahoma.
It's easy to see why Zekman was the leadoff hitter in her first game, though. Blazing speed down the line. That was a slow rolling grounder over to third base. Maddie George had to hurry the throw, and it still beat Zekman by half a step.
You definitely imagine that Zekman is going to be a replacement for Lily Keister with that speed in the outfield and the speed on the base path. Meanwhile, batting second, here comes Jenna Newpaver, a utility freshman out of Remington Beach at Osceola Fundamental High School. Swinging and miss for strike one. Newpaver is playing at the hot corner today as the third base player.
And a bit late on that first swing there. We've seen a lot of harder stuff from Dixon. That one a bit off speed, tailing outside, and Newpaver fell for it.
That one dropped down low. Great take there by Newpaver. You can also tell that these leadoff players for the Spartans might be going for more slap hits as they run forward for their batting motions.
You see a lot of the softball players having kind of an Ichiro batting stance and already running out towards first base when they're moving. And Ichiro did it for very different reasons in the major leagues. For him, it was really because he could, but with the smaller base paths in softball, you almost have to just to get a runner on base in the early goings.
That one taken down low again and make it 3-1 in the count. On deck for the Spartans is the returning Kenna Kreiber, someone with good power and good batting, and will definitely be part of the Spartans offense. By the way, Dixon was 28-11 last year with a 3.08 ERA. That one flared foul, so the count will go full for the second straight at bat. Now, in baseball, usually it's a good thing to climb that pitch count up. However, Dixon's a bit of a workhorse. She has 168 innings, and usually you're not going to see many calls to the bullpen. Dixon is going to try to go the full 7 if possible. So the pitch count not going to be a huge factor unless they are worried about her first start of the year. The 3-2. Hit through the hole for the Tampa freshman. Her first hit as a Spartan, the first hit for the Spartans this season.
She was lining up that opposite field, hit really the entire at bat. Those foul balls she had hit towards that left side, and this one right in between the 6'5" gap between Rupp and George. Good piece of hitting for a new paver, and a good start for the Spartans.
Now it'll be Kara Kreidler stepping to the plate to Tampa. Was a big part of Tampa's success last year, but now the pressure is building. She is the experienced veteran leading Tampa's offense just as a sophomore. Strike one.
That's that big bat that you want, especially at the start of the year. The head coach is going to put their biggest bat in the third spot in the order, and today that is Kara Kreidler. As Coach Leslie Cantor, hoping that the extra year of experience can help her make some noise in the middle of that order.
That one's high, make it 1-1. Command was a little bit of an issue for Dixon last year, 189 strikeouts to 91 walks. We're kind of seeing a little bit of that today. Has just had two straight full counts, and Tampa has capitalized on solid outcomes on both plays. A ground out to short, but then a line drive straight through that hole that allows Newpaver to get on board. But now Kreidler's in a 1-1 count as we quickly have a conversation between Dixon and her battery mate, Marty Yeager. So let's see what they're planning here. One's across the scoreboard. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out.
In the first.
In the bottom of the first. Inside 2-1. Great discipline there from Kara Kreidler. Definitely another big part of her style of play. Kreidler got on base at a .459 clip last year, leading all qualified Spartans. But that one clips the corner, 2-2.
That's a good pitch there. She's been just flirting with the black part of the plate. Has Dixon, but this time just finds it centrally located in a tough spot to go around on.
2-2. Newpaver not going yet. There's a chance she might try to seal. Slow changeup, strike 3. Kreidler was looking to go around early, but as she saw it slow down, she kept the bat back, and that was the wrong move. That's floats down the middle for the second out of the inning.
That's the beauty of an off-speed pitch when you see a lot of fastballs, rise balls, as we've been seeing in this first inning from Dixon. Sometimes just a well-placed changeup can do the trick, and right there it did, freezing Kreidler for the second out.
Out of bring Cam Feast to the plate. She is a transfer out of Florida Gulf Coast. One of the only transfer that is joining the Spartans this year. Kelsey Winters, who transferred from Iowa in 2024, is back on the roster. I imagine she'll be active in Game 2 or later this weekend when softball, actually I'm trying to remember if softball is going to be active later this weekend or not. But they're going to be on the road next weekend to start February and for a while on a couple of road trips. So either we will see Winters active then or active today, but for now it's a 1-1 count to Cam Feast, who now is the second of 2 juniors on the Spartan roster. High and inside, good take by Cam Feast. Cam Feast out of Fort Myers, Florida. Fitting that she started at Florida Gulf Coast then. The 2-1. Good spot again for that fastball, 2-2. That was the exact same spot for the strike 2 pitch against Kara Kreidler.
I was going to say that's where she's been getting those misses when Dixon can go low in the zone, just pecking at the knees of these Spartan hitters. She is doing a great job with location.
That one bounces off the glove, but it is strike 3, and Feast will get tagged out on the run to first. Inning over, drop third strike, although Tampa does get a base runner. They will be left at second, technically, as they were running after the strike through call. More action from the Morning Family Stadium when we come back, all tied after the first inning. Period try.
Yeah, try that. Thank you, sir.
There we go.
Top of the second, about to resume here from the Murray Family Stadium. And it'll be Denai Lopez leading off for Oklahoma Christian. Denai Lopez, a sophomore out of Amarillo, Texas. There are many players for Oklahoma Christian from Florida, but also some from Kansas and Texas across the board. And this time, the Texas Slugger fouls one away for strike one.
Well, those are the states you probably recruit most from. Florida, Texas, maybe the two biggest softball states, high school-wise, in the entire country.
Tampa also has plenty of Florida recruits, but they're also pretty active all across the nation, as that's the first hit for Oklahoma Christian. The line drive right past Reynolds. Good job by the fielder, Abby Johns, to get to it, to hold Lopez to a leadoff single.
Good piece of hitting here from Lopez, stayed level on the swing and just hit the ball where the green grass was. Has to feel good when you can hit a ball just right in the gap that you can see the shortstop making such a good effort for and still goes in the outfield for a knock.
That'll bring Caden's booster to the plate, and she'll foul this one away. I don't know if they were doing a hit and run, but there was a bit of an aggressive lead from Lopez on the base path. Let's take a look at Tampa's defense for today's game. They've got Newpaper at third base, Reynolds playing shortstop, Henry Weathers the second base player, and Salisbury is playing at first. They're also playing someone in, expecting the bunt. Greatly placed down, and booster is out by half a step with a successful sacrifice.
Yeah, just like you said, that was textbook. The ball bounced so high off the dirt that it almost hit Kaden's back in her jersey, but she gets the job done, and Oklahoma Christian has their first runner in scoring position.
That was exactly where you want a sacrifice bunt to go. It's tough for the fielders to get to, although the downside is booster was one step away from getting another runner on board and advancing the runners. There's a swing and a miss by Callie Rupp.
We don't see as many bunts these days, but that's one of the things I love most about college softball and baseball is you see more of the fundamentals in the old school plays that used to be, a big part of the game, helping teams advance the runners, but haven't stayed as popular at the higher levels.
Definitely at Tampa's ballpark, it's always a good idea to play more small ball. You see that center field wall. It is very far back. It looks far back in the broadcast, and we can confirm it is not easy to hit home runs here at New Tampa. Last year, the leading Spartan for home runs had 10 on the year, and I can count on my hand how many times we saw a ball leave the park here at home. I think it was 3 times last year, which is actually a good number. More than one look at it. Foul back, make it 1-2 still. Good job by Gwen McGinnis. Not worried about the runner in scoring position. McGinnis has been in these high leverage spots before. She carries a lot of experience for the rotation, having been here the last 2 years and being a great part of our Tampa pitching staff, who are consistently among the best in the SLC. Fouled again, still 1-2.
That's what you want to do if you're up there. Just keep fighting off those pitches. McGinnis is just spreading the ball around. She's using up-difference pitches in her sequence, but Rupp is still getting a piece of it. Eventually, if you keep frustrating the pitcher by fouling those balls off, they might just make a mistake.
1-2, McGinnis to Rupp. Outside again. Good take. That was close to the zone. Crowley did have to jump a little bit to get to it, so a little high and away. On deck is McDougal. They're not really in a double play opportunity, so it is very likely that the outfield junior will get a chance to play, although it'll be a 2 outs, swing and a miss, third strikeout for Gwen McGinnis.
Good job. It's harder, I think, for softball pitchers to work the corners, I feel like, and she did a great job of that there, staying on the black parts of the plate and fishing when it might have been a ball inside had Rupp not swung.
2 away now, first pitch. Fouled back. A good fastball to open things up from Gwen McGinnis. I wonder if she was able to develop a changeup inspired by Mariah Galehouse. That was her calling card for her off-speed offering that would always leave people guessing. A work of art from Tampa's own Tahoe, who recently graduated. Although this one's an easy grounder for a short, good throw from Reynolds. And despite the leadoff single, it's 3 straight outs from McGinnis to leave her in scoring position. So, Oklahoma Christian do get a player on the board, but nothing on the scoreboard yet. They're still tied, entering the bottom of the second. And we're ready to go. Bottom of the second. Salisbury will get her first at bat as a Spartan as we get underway. Kirby Salisbury is a utility freshman out of Riverview, Florida. She will be playing first base today on defense. And we're ready to go wearing the number 33, famously worn by Alexa Russo the last few years, on offense. It would be awesome if she could replicate Russo's power at the plate. First pitch from Dixon. Popped up. Strike one. Tampa's offense did get that hit in the first inning, but couldn't do anything else with it. 2 strikeouts in a row from Dixon, retired the side. It'll be Addie Johns and Joey Treywick, 2 Spartan veterans, coming back. Although they've mainly been in reserve and rotational roles throughout their tenures here at Tampa, they will be stepping into the starting lineups for the first time today. Kenzie Reynolds, who was batting last, was a pretty frequent player in the middle infield last year for Tampa. Nice changeup for strike 2, and it's a 1-2 count to Salisbury.
And I think that was done on purpose, having someone with maybe the most experience in the Spartans lineup hitting ninth, just to make sure that everyone else gets their reps. And Kenzie Reynolds did play a lot last year, and it's an interesting look to see her in the 9 spot with such a young team.
Tampa has worked a lot of deep at bats already. This is another 4-pitch at bat at minimum. 2-2 count now.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it is almost rare to see a softball pitcher get pulled, and that can certainly give you the confidence if you can work through a whole bunch of pitches, get him to show you a lot, tire the pitcher out even ideally. That can be a really big boost for any team.
So on deck is Johns. It's a full count to Salisbury. Will she get on base for her first Spartan at bat? Line to left field, it is caught on a diving catch. A highlight play from the number 3, CBC. You hate to say it as a Spartans fan, but what a play.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the highlight plays of the day so far. Great catch from Seat, and that looked like one of those kind of 50-50 ones hit right down the line by Salisbury, but Seat got a great read on it and made the perfect route.
If you're Salisbury, you can't be disappointed with that at bat. That was a very cleanly hit softball, and if it wasn't for that diving play by Seat, it would have been extra bases, and Tampa would have had a runner in scoring position. Salisbury will just have to wait and go again, as that's strike 1 to Abby Johns.
And what makes that even more impressive is, I mean, even if that ball would, if Seat had dove and that ball would miss her glove, that ball would have rolled all the way back to the fence. Could have been a triple, something big. It's a huge play for Seat early on.
The edge of the zone has not been Dixon's friend all day long. That's another one right on the edge of the zone, and another one that goes for a ball. 1-1 count now to Abby Johns. Swing and a miss. That time the low changeup got a big whiff.
And you talked about that changeup for the Spartans last year, and the changeup has been one of the biggest parts of Dixon's arsenal in this one so far.
Another strong changeup, but it drifts away for ball 2. Might have been maybe a little bit closer to like a curveball that time. Either way, very strong off-speed offerings from Dixon in the early goings. It froze Kreidler, it froze Feast. Very useful offerings early on, the 2-2. Now line to center field, tracking back, Booster makes the catch. 7 in the eyes, not a problem for it. 2 away.
And that's not as easy of a play as it looks, especially with zero shade unless you get all the way back against the wall in center field. Just keeping the sun out of her eyes was part of the difficulties for Caden Brewster, but a nice catch for 2 outs.
That'll be disappointing. 2 well-hit balls from the Spartans, but they've both gone right to the outfield, as that'll be strike 1 for Joey Treywick. Sophomore out of Jacksonville. She has been pretty frequent in her redshirt year last year and her freshman year. Well, the redshirt year and her freshman year 2 years ago, and then last year her true freshman year. That one line foul. Make it 1-2 now. I'll tell you, Dixon would love to get strike 3 and make it a 1-2-3 inning. especially as Tampa's doing a good job of seeing her stuff. Unlike the first inning where she picked up 2 back-to-back strikeouts, Tampa's had hard hit outs. Hit sharply to second, an easy scoop and an easy toss. The Water Brewster gets out number 3, and thanks to a diving catch braving the sun, and a routine ball in the infield, it's 1-2-3 for Dixon in the bottom of the second, all tied up after 2 here at the University of Tampa. Great defense by Oklahoma Christian last time out. They'll be looking to turn things around on offense for the top of the third. Taylor Sorney, Josh Sperber bringing you the action opening day for Tampa Spring Athletics. Baseball on the road at Georgia College. They're the number 1 ranked team in the nation, looking to make the three-peat happen. We'll just have to wait and see how they do and see them back at home soon. But for now, it's Tampa softball on the SSE Digital Network. Ball 1 to Drummond. Maddie Drummond, the designated player, leads off for Oklahoma Christian. Hit sharply to short. Good scoop. Great throw. Kenzie Reynolds, out number 1.
Smooth as ever from Reynolds. A hard hit ball towards the middle of the infield, but Kenzie tracked that down easily and made that play look routine.
There have been questions about who Tampa's starting 9 should be, but I'm pretty sure one of the first players put on the board, Kenzie Reynolds, shortstop. It's a match made in heaven. Reynolds doing a great job at the position frequently last year, sometimes to the right-hand side of the infield. This one hit back to Reynolds, and it's 2 in a row. 2 quick groundouts, 3 straight outs from Reynolds, her 4th assist of the game in the infield, 2 away.
And it's typical in both diamond sports, baseball as well, to want to put your best fielder at the shortstop position. And it looks pretty clearly like Tampa got the right pick.
That'll bring up Macy George. Do want to mention, unfortunate for Sydney Seat, after making that great diving catch in the previous inning, her first swing of the season goes right to Reynolds for out number 2. And not just her first swing, it was on the very first pitch.
I mean, she's at the visiting team stadium, just did that to Tampa, so I think she deserves it.
Yeah,
I'll say
it. Macy George grounded out to short last time, and she'll take ball 1 up high. The first trip through the order complete for Gwen McGinnis. This will be her 28th pitch. Actually make it 29 for strike 1. 1-1 count to Macy George. Outside, 2-1. Good take there by George. It's one of the first times we've seen McGuinness fall behind in the count today. Tampa's pitchers have always specialized with good control, not committing too many walks.
And both these teams are looking really patient in the box.
That's very good for Oklahoma Christian to be doing so. They've now worked a 3-1 count. First time we've seen 3 balls on the scoreboard for Gwen McGinnis. That is how strong her command has been through those first 2 innings and the 2/3 from this frame. And that is ball 4. The first walk of the season from either of these teams, and it's Macy George getting a 2-out base runner.
And you like to see that early in the game because at the beginning of the season, you just have to think that these people are going to swing away so much quicker. But we're seeing a lot of patient at-bats, well-worked counts, and just a bunch of hitters who are taking what the pitch count and what the pitcher gives to them.
We now got to keep an eye on the base path. There was a bit of a jump by George. Kreidler stood up to try to throw her back out. George had 9 steals on 13 attempts last year, second most for the Eagles. Fouled away, make it 0-2.
Yeah, it's both of those pitches that it looked like George was going off and running towards second base. So if I'm McGinnis, I am taking a big look over at first base before I throw my next one home.
It was Marty Yeager who's on deck, who led the Eagles in steals last season. This one in foul territory, just missed. Would have been a very awkward catch for Addy Johns, trying to leap and grab it at the wall. But it's foul, so no harm done.
Yeah, that ball was kind of going, it would have gone into the net, I think, if Johns wasn't there. And she had to figure out a way to just get her glove in front of the net without changing, any of the delicate, just the delicate parts of that catch.
Hit to Johns again. This time makes a sliding play. Now, it wasn't as impressive as the diving catch by Sydney Seat, but it's even more important with a runner on and two away, because if that gets past her, it's likely that the Eagles take the lead. Instead, it's the final out of the frame. One runner left on board, no hits, no runs, no errors. McGinnis, almost flawless, through three. We'll be right back. Tampa, Oklahoma Christian, the first of a two-game doubleheader. And currently it is all tied up for Hannah Yetter leading off for the Spartans. 8-9-1 due up for you, Tampa. We'll see if Tampa can get things going as they get ready for a second trip around the order against Jill Dixon. First pitch on the way. High and outside. Yetter makes a return to the Spartans lineup. Is a player that sometimes appeared throughout her freshman year last year, but now gets the starting role for game one as that one goes low ball two. I do imagine that Coach Cantor will do some shuffling once we have the second game of the doubleheader, getting some other freshmen a chance to shine.
Might have close to an all-new lineup because, it's the second game of the season after this one. I know both coaches are going to see some different things from their starting nines.
Fly ball from Yetter going deep, but not deep enough. Catch made by Cadence Brewster, one away. That'll bring up Kenzie Reynolds.
That one well hit from Yetter, but she just got a little bit too underneath it. Has to bring the barrel a bit further up to get the kind of contact she wants on that last pitch.
Reynolds was one of the few people that have returned to Tampa that were a frequent player last year for the Spartans. Reynolds did hit just under the Mendoza line for the season at 194 last year, getting on base at a slightly better 218. She did have some good speed on the base path, though, picking up a stolen base.
And speed and defense is sometimes all you really need in baseball or softball, and Reynolds has those both in spades.
Swing and a miss, 1-1. Good spot there, low and inside from Reynolds. To Reynolds. Gets the bunt down the third base line. Will be a close play at first. Reynolds out by a step. Good play by Macy George, two away.
That's just the Spartans trying to get a little bit creative. Right there, Kenzie Reynolds thought she's had enough space, just dropped one down the third base line, but Macy George was ready for it. Made a nice play on the bunt attempt, two gone.
Saw a similar result from the first at-bat from Aubrey Zeckman, a bunt that rolled to the shortstop and eventually led to out number one in the first. Two away now here in the third, and that one's tipped foul, the worst-case scenario, a check swing foul ball.
Yeah, it really looked like Zeckman had kind of run out of the box. She was just ready to take that pitch, but enough of her bat was still in the strike zone that it hit off the top corner of it, and that's strike one.
Down low, make it 1-1. Time called. Looks like there will be a conversation briefly between Yeager and Dixon. Both teams have batteries that have been used to playing with each other. Yeager and Dixon last year, a big part of this Oklahoma Christian team. But for Tampa as well, it was Kreidler and McGinnis who have usually been together. Kreidler being the everyday catcher for the Spartans for the most part last season. And Yeager, with her strong batting and strong speed on the base path, the team's steal leader for Oklahoma Christian, also a frequent player to watch today behind home plate. A little bit like Jason Kendall being a good base stealing catcher.
They don't make him like him anymore.
1-1 on the way. On the ground, that's going to stay fair. Another close play at first, not in time. That's the first hit for Aubrey Zekman, a slow roller that gets the job done.
That might not be the prettiest hit that she'll get this season, but it still counts as one. Just took a high bounce right in front, and George did not have enough time to close all that extra space. And now the Spartans have a dangerous base runner with 2 outs.
So it's Newpaver ready to go for U Tampa. We've got a runner aboard and 2 away in the bottom of the third. First pitch on the way from Dixon. Strike one. Second with a lead, but she ultimately stays put.
And we've seen both teams in these last couple innings just slowly getting more aggressive on the base paths. No one's really made a concerted effort to steal except for maybe on that one foul ball.
Line drive into the gap, that'll get down, and it's picked up as trying to hit to third. That was the wrong decision to send her. Zekman's out and the inning's over. It is going to be the second hit away from Newpaver, but a good job in left field by Seat to get the throw in time to retire the side. And we're back at U Tampa. The previous inning ended with a really nice base hit by Jenna Newpaver, but Zekman rounding second and heading to third was thrown out by Sydney Seat to retire the side. Now for McGinnis, it'll be Marty Yeager, Denai Lopez, and Caden Sprucer, the 3-4-5 batters, awaiting her for this new frame. Yeager leads off. She struck out last time. Ball one, outside from McGinnis. Both these teams do share an interesting characteristic. Last year in the 2025 South Regional Final, UT Tyler sent Oklahoma Christian home with an 8-0 game. Now, it was a long battle for Oklahoma Christian to get to that regional title game. They went through the losers bracket, so they didn't have the second loss for a chance at a rematch against Tyler. So they had to exit after that first 8-0 defeat. Tampa, meanwhile, were flawless in the national championships to get to the title series against UT Tyler, but then a 6-0 and 3-0 loss would send the Spartans home without the trophy. So a 9-0 aggregate and an 8-0 aggregate. UT Tyler handing both of these teams season-ending tickets to Cancun, if you will, as that one's fouled away 3-2. Although Tampa, you could say, could feel a little bit better about their first national championship appearance as a softball program. They also joined the lacrosse programs, who both made national championships with 1 win and 1 loss, as well as Tampa's baseball program, who won their 10th program title and 2nd national championship in a row. Ball 4 on the payoff pitch, and it is a lead-off walk to Marty Yeager.
And another example of Oklahoma Christian just getting more and more patient with their at-bats. A couple of those close pitches coming from McGinnis were swings on similar pitches earlier in this game. So Oklahoma Christian starting to figure out this McGinnis arsenal. Excuse me.
Strike one in the outside corner. McGinnis, don't think she's having any bit of nervousness out there on the mound. She knows what she has to do to get out of the jam. And she's definitely also got the complete trust from Coach Leslie Cantor on the circle. I don't think Tampa is going to have to look to the bullpen all day today, even if it goes 10 innings. Hopefully not, obviously. We'd love for the Spartans to win it in 7. But if the offense is kept quiet from good pitching performances, McGinnis can definitely go the distance as the count goes 1-2.
We've certainly got a pitcher's duel on our hands thus far, and I got to tell you, Taylor, there are few people in Division II softball that I'd taken a pitcher's duel against Gwen McGinnis.
1-2 on the way. Outside and low again, 2-2. McGinnis was just one win behind Mariah Gilhouse for the overall Spartan lead last year, but did pitch in more games with 29 overall appearances. Fouled away, still 2-2.
And that was a good swing by Dina Lopez. She got part of the barrel on the ball just a little bit early on the swing. Didn't get enough of that fat part of the bat on the baseball.
So one more time, the 2-2. High, 3-2, another full count.
And this is a big pitch here from McGinnis. It's still scoreless in the 4th inning, and with a chance to put 2 runners on base before an out.
Hit sharply to short. Reynolds gets it. They'll turn one. Throw. Not in time. But they do get the lead runner. One away. Lopez reaches first on the fielder's choice.
And again, a good job in the field by Reynolds. Got to that ball very quickly, and if it hadn't been for just that slight bobble pulling the ball out of her glove, might have had a double play and 2 outs.
Better safe than sorry when picking up a hotly grounded ball like that one. And Reynolds does crucially get the lead runner. And also the more important base stealing threat. I think that'll count as ball 1. The batter was calling for time, but couldn't get it off in time. So that's actually an ironic benefit for Cadence Brewster, as she'll get ahead in the count. Hit sharply to third and out of reach. Newpaper couldn't get to it, and it's bobbled by Johns in left field. They'll get the relay throw in, but runners at second and third, and that'll definitely be an error after the hit on Johns. Second hit of the day for Oklahoma Christian, but the runners advance on the error by Johns.
I think it's a smart move for Oklahoma Christian to hold Dina Lopez at third, but Brewster with a no-question decision to take second on that tough bobble from Johns, and now we have a mound visit.
Yeah, a chance to talk in the circle for the Spartans. It's likely for the rest of the team rather than Gwen McGinnis, and just kind of tell the infield, hey, we know what to do. Let's get out of the jam altogether. It's also one of the first times you get to really see this unit together. Got Kreidler, Reynolds, and Yetter being the veterans, Salisbury and Newpaver, the transfers, and of course an entirely new outfield for the Spartans as well in terms of starters. Abby Johns and Treywick have played plenty of times before. Zekman, who's off to a hot start with 2 hits out in center, although she'll stay put as this one's fouled back, strike 1. Callie Rupp struck out last time, but she'll be looking to put the ball in play. 2 runners in scoring position. This one floated, and just by the dugout. That one hit off the net. It was a dead ball. I like the hustle that Salisbury's had from first base, but that one was also out of reach. 0-2 from McGinnis to Rupp. Hit to deep center field. That'll bring home a run. It is caught on the run, so that is out number 2, but Oklahoma Christian take the lead on the sac fly.
And Rupp gets the first RBI of the season from Oklahoma Christian, and she just did everything that she needed to. You want that ball to fall, obviously, if you're an Eagle, but it still gets the first run on the board. And in a pitcher's duel like this, those runs might be coming at a premium.
Good catch by Zekman. Also had to brave the sun out in center field. And even though there was no chance to get the runner on third out, that one's going to bounce off the third base player. 2-0 Oklahoma Christian. I don't think that'll be an error on Newpaper. That was a sharply hit ground ball that you really can't do a lot about.
Yeah, I'd call that a single if I'm scoring the game, honestly. But it's just a tough one to field if you're Jenna Newpaper. That ball was right at her, and I think it got her on like the wrist or the forearm. Definitely an awkward angle of that gloved hand for her to be able to make a play.
So Allie McDougal, RBI single. It's 2-0 Oklahoma Christian. 2 away with a runner on. And Kreidler standing up as there was a bit of a lead after that first pitch by Allie McDougal. Here's Maddie Drummond.
So that makes the first run is earned and the second run is unearned, which she should have been base back. Got it? Yep.
Low and inside, make it 2-0. One of those runs will count earned for McGinnis, but the error earlier does mean the other one unearned for now. 2-0 on the way from Glenn McGinnis. And that is maybe we can see a little bit shaken from those decently hit balls from those previous plays. 3-0 count to Maddie Drummond. Sydney Seat is on deck. Command could also just be shaken off the cobwebs. First start of the season for Glenn McGinnis. That is strike one, though.
Yeah, this is just really the first kind of signs of humanity almost you've seen from Glenn McGinnis. She had just one hit before this inning, and Oklahoma Christian seems to have kind of figured her out right now.
And that is the fifth base runner that Oklahoma Christian will... Nope, strike two called. I thought that was ball four.
Honestly, I think I did too. Just a late call from the home plate umpire.
And that time, ball four is called. Came one pitch later, and a 2 on with 2 away.
Second walk of the inning, third of the game for McGinnis, and we're going to see another mound visit.
This time it'll be Cantor talking things over with Glenn McGinnis and the rest of the team. The last mound or circle visit was just between the teammates. This time it's Cantor stepping in and, just telling the kids what to do. This is a very fresh team. It's a team of freshmen. It's a team of sophomores with just a couple of veterans sprinkled in here and there. So this is one where, Coach Cantor's words of wisdom will probably ring even more useful than they normally would compared to Spartan veterans because, in previous years, whenever Tampa gets into trouble, they've all seen a spot like this before. One of the veterans will say, back in 2019 you had a similar spot. You know how to get out of the jam. But for these players, it's their first time playing here at the D2 level. Here comes the 0-1 from McGinnis. Good changeup, but it falls away, 1-1. Fouled away, make it 1-2. So, 2 strikes, 2 outs. McGinnis to Seat. Strike 3 called on the inside, and McGinnis is out of the inning. That is her 4th strikeout of the game, but before she escapes to come home for the Eagles, they take the lead on 2 hits, 2 runs, and an error with 2 left on board. We are headed to the bottom of the 4th. Oklahoma Christian lead. And we're ready to go in the bottom of the 4th inning. Kenna Kreidler leads off for the Spartans. It's Tampa's heart of the order getting underway in the bottom of the 4th. Good thing for Tampa that they're getting their best players at the plate because Tampa needs to find 2 runs after conceding 2 in the top of the 4th. Taylor Sorley, Josh Sperber on the call for both games
of the doubleheader today. Tampa Spring Athletics getting started on this beautiful but chilly Friday. You know, it's been pretty cold all week, Josh, but things have started to warm up a little bit, which is definitely nice to see.
I don't know. I'm one of the crazy people who's not actually from Florida, so I just don't think it's that cold. I'm just wearing a jacket now.
I'm wearing short sleeve shirt and shorts as well, but I do know a lot of the players that are from Florida probably wearing jackets most of the week when it was down in 40-degree temperatures here in Florida. Things should be getting colder with a chance of snow this weekend.
It's what I like to call Florida cold, Taylor, where for Florida it's cold, but if it's anywhere else, this is just a regular day.
There will be another lacrosse game at the Namoli Family Intramural Complex on Sunday, and maybe there will be a little bit of snow left over on the ground.
I'm working that game, so I hope not.
We'll have to wait and see, because I'll also be there, too, as the count goes 2-2. Good location there from Dixon to get the count back to level. Kreidler went down looking last time, but she definitely has an eye on the changeup in this at-bat. Popped up and foul. Went a little bit early that time. Still 2-2. Only a 2-game series between these two teams. Sometimes you'll have a third game for a traveling side, but Tampa begins a long road trip that won't end until the end of February after this set of games are completed. Fouled again, Kreidler staying alive. Cam Feast is on deck. Suffered the same fate as Kreidler with a strikeout. Ball 3. Oklahoma Christian fans were ready for that to be a strike. But you know, you can't fight City Hall. That'll bring the count full. Feast is on deck. Will she have a base runner? No, she does not. Strike 3, low and inside. Great fastball by Dixon.
And that inside part of the plate for home plate umpire Scott Boswell has, I think, stretched been a little bit, because a couple of those inside strikes looked like they were hanging a bit too far in, but that inside strike is certainly a spot that both of these pitchers should be looking at for the rest of this game.
Do want to give a shout out to our umpire crew today. Scott Boswell behind home plate. Scott Johnson in the infield, and a nice diving catch by Brewster on the very first pitch. Feast a little too much under it, unfortunately. Good catch, though, by Kylie Brewster. Not an easy play to make. How to make a diving play.
No, it's one of those just fast dropping, but, slowly hit balls into the infield that looks like it's just a simple pop, but you got to really, really make a move quickly for it, and you can't hesitate.
So that'll bring Salisbury to the plate. Strike 1. Great changeup to open from Dixon. Carly Salisbury out of Riverview, Florida at Sumner High School. She's the first base player for Tampa and has had a pretty good job there. Don't really think she's had a bad play in the infield yet today. The only error from Tampa came on just the bobble from Johns out in left field. It did prove to be costly, putting both runners that would come home to score in scoring position. And then there was a sharply hit ball to Newpaver. Got to feel bad for her as well. Playing at the hot corner, and nothing she could have done on that play. Fouled away, 1-2. One more strike, and Dixon would keep Tampa quiet to preserve the 2-0 lead.
And Dixon has just been excellent on the mound, just so accurate with her pitches. Seems like everything is over the plate. And even the couple hits that she has given up to Tampa have not been huge hits.
The pitch counts climbed a little bit for Dixon. But if maybe she hasn't been super efficient with the amount of pitches, she hasn't been in danger too often. Only once has Tampa gotten a runner in scoring position. And that came when Zekman was rounding second. 1-2 on the way. Dixon to Salisbury. Strike 3. Great changeup. Yellhouse-esque, if you will, for a fourth strikeout to go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the fourth. Tampa trails, and they will have 9 more chances to get on the board. But for now, it'll be Central or Christian Oklahoma. I keep getting them messed up for the team that Tampa had knocked out in tournament play last year when we come back on the SSC Digital Network. Oklahoma Christian have the top of the order ready to go for the top of the fifth. They have a 2-0 lead, and it'll be Macy George starting things off. She drew the first of what has now been 3 walks from Gwen McGinnis. This Eagles side has had great plate discipline throughout the game today. Ball 1, the plate discipline continues with that fastball drifting away. Foul back, 1-1. Here's McGinnis on the way to George. Squares down the bunt, but it's foul, 1-2.
I think that caught the back of home plate and just went out. But Kreidler knew from the jump that that ball was going to stay foul.
So good reactions from Kreidler. 1-2 on the way. Hit sharply to left. In range for Johns. Catch made, and that's the first out. Most of the fly balls have been hit Abby Johns' way today. Also made a catch when Kylie Brewster was at the plate in the third inning. Speaking of, here comes Kylie Brewster for her third at bat. 0 for 2 so far. Went down swinging. Both these teams having their season opener today, as this one's fouled away for strike 1. For Oklahoma Christian, they will be active tomorrow at Eckerd. Josh, I believe you'll be at that game.
I will.
Good luck with the traffic, depending on the weather. I know it's not going to be perfect. Tampa, I don't think they're having games because of Gasparilla. Some of the roads around campus will be, I think, closed. Students on campus, always a fun event to attend. 1-1. Hit sharply to second. Good sliding grab by Yetter. Her throw in time. Great reach by Salisbury, 2 away.
That's a heck of a play by Yetter. That looked like it was just a hot shot up the middle. Sliding stop. Bobbled it. Pulling it out of her glove, but still able to get the ball into first ahead of Brewster. Good job over at second base by Yetter.
And Salisbury wasn't the easiest of balls to get to, had to stretch out, but able to do so perfectly to get out number 2 in the infield. Here comes Marty Yeager back to the plate. Ball 1 up high. Not a bad offering there from McGinnis. That one high again, ball 2. So it's a 2-0 count now from McGinnis to Yeager. Fouled away, 2-1. It is a Friday and it is a school day, so campus will have some people walking around, but I don't think the foul balls will be interfering with anyone walking around campus, at least for the moment. Baseball is where that usually will happen. If you have a really deep foul ball down the right field line, tipped off the catcher, 2-2. I think Kreidler's all right. Not sure if that hit off the umpire. Either way, it did bounce off of someone, you could clearly tell. However, the good news, both Boswell and Kreidler wearing protection for the head to make sure that if it does ricochet there, not going to really hurt that much. 2-2 on the way. Ooh, just a bit high.
McGinnis likes that fastball, a rise ball, one of those pitches up in the zone for that strike 3 pitch, but this one just slipped and went a bit too far upstairs.
That is ball 4 just outside, and that'll bring Denai Lopez to the plate. Another full count walk drawn by Yeager. 4th walk of the day for McGinnis. Really great plate discipline from Oklahoma Christian. Two outs, though, for McGinnis. Just needs one to escape the jam. That one rolls in the dirt. Awkwardly bobbled, but Kreidler stays on top of it. Got to watch if Yeager's going to try for her first steal of the season. Had 10 last year. Got a 2-1 lead, and with 2 outs, could be worth it to get a little aggressive. Strike 1 in the outside corner. I don't know if the terminology or the baseball strategical minds prefer a steal with 2 outs or no outs. Thinking about how much value you lose in a situation. Because if there's 0 outs and you lose the base runner, you're kind of giving the team a solid because, you know, you're giving them the first down and the bases are empty. Here, if that runner is caught out, well, okay, it just ends the inning. You keep your same batter. But also, it ends the inning, so that's not good either. Still 1-2. Good job on McGinnis to get ahead. She'll stay ahead after the foul ball. Let's see what Lopez plans next. Hit sharply through the hole. Base hit. Johns will scoop this one up cleanly, keeping runners at first and second. 4th hit of the day for Oklahoma Christian. And that'll bring up Cadence Brewster.
Seems like all of Oklahoma Christian's hits have gone to the same spot. I don't, not all of them, but 2 or 3 of them at least have gone right in between short and third for a base hit. Good hitting, good piece of hitting by Lopez, who has 2.
A majority of them have gone through that 6-5 hole, as we mentioned earlier in the game, and it's been tough for New Paver and Reynolds. Reynolds has made some brilliant plays across the board, but when they split the middle, you can't do much about it. 1 strike now from McGinnis to Brewster. Not 2 strikes. The force out at third's made, and the inning's over. Easy play for New Paver that time around, and the side is retired. 1 walk, 1 hit, 2 stranded, and Tampa will get ready for the bottom of the 5th. Abby Johns, Joey Trewick, Hannah Yetter when we come back. Joel Dixon ready to continue as we are back on the SSC Digital Network from the Mole Family Stadium opening day for Tampa Sports. The spring is always so much fun. You got so many strong events on campus. Last year, every single one of these major televised Tampa athletic programs made their respective national championships. That is truly something special. You don't always see it. You typically see it for Tampa baseball. For the most part, you see it with Tampa lacrosse. Softball always in the running to do so. But last year was a run of glory, if you will, making it out of regional play, making it undefeated through the national championships until UT Tyler just proved to be the wall of the world, or in this case, the wall of the central United States. 0-1 on that big foul ball from Johns.
That area of Texas has produced so many elite college and pro athletes. I mean, it's, you know, Tampa did a good enough job just getting there to play him, but that didn't seem like Tyler was going to be defeated in that run last season.
Can Tampa maybe reverse their fortunes this year? We'll have to wait and see. 0-2 count on the way to Johns. Ball 1, just outside. Almost Dixon's 5th strikeout. Despite falling behind in some of those early counts to start the game, she's actually kept a 0 in the walk column today. Swing and a miss. Got her going early on the 1-2. 2 strikeouts in a row, her 5th of the day. That'll bring up Joey Trewick.
Up next for Tampa, number 1, Joey Trewick.
The bottom 4 of the lineup for the Spartans, all 0 for 4 today, or 0 for 1 today. They're 0 for 4 combined. As the count goes, 1-0. Tampa's only had 3 chances with runners on base today. They are 1 for 3. Same .333 average for Oklahoma Christian. They've had 3 hits with 9 chances with runners on board. Make it a 1-1 count. The sun is in the sky. The temperature a little bit warmer, but still kind of an expected January, February temperature here in Florida. That one almost hit the head of Trewick, just missing high and in. 2-1. Trewick gets under this one. Difficult play for Rupp, but she makes the catch. 2 away. That'll bring up Hannah Yetter.
It's certainly not the first time I've seen one of the Spartan players look like they barreled up the ball, look like they got their swing in the right space, but just a little bit too low on their swings. And again, Tampa is just getting a bit underneath the ball, haven't gotten the best read on where these balls from Dixon's are coming in.
Strike one on the outside corner. That's 0-1 to Hannah Yetter. Oh, and 2. Great changeup again from Dixon. Looking for potentially a 6th strikeout of the day. Is in the driver's seat against Yetter. Outside, ball 1. Close call that time around. One more time, the 1-2. Outside again, 2-2. Good spot and good take. On the ground and fouled. Still 2-2. Two on the way. Outside, ball 3. Full count. Dixon is no stranger to strikeouts. Her career high is 15, which she achieved in her freshman year against Western New Mexico. 3-2. On the ground at first. That'll end the inning. A well-worked at-bat by Hannah Yetter, going from 0-2 down to 3-2 in the count. But Lopez did not need to do much to confirm a 1-2-3 inning for Dixon in the circle. Has gotten 6 straight outs without conceding a base runner. Stellar work from the Oklahoma Christian ace. Tampa do not have many chances left. We are entering the top of the 6th, 2-0 in favor of the Eagles. Here we go. 2-0 lead. Tampa trying to keep the Eagles quiet as they've got 6 outs to work with. The new inning begins. McGinnis back in the circle and Callie Rupp at the plate. Her sac fly was the first run of the season for Oklahoma Christian. First pitch on the way for McGinnis. Ball 1 outside. The game's start time was pushed up from 4 p.m. to 3 p.m. The next game time scheduled to start at around 5. I think that's a good time to guess that the next game will begin. I imagine it'll be about 30 to 45 minutes once this first game concludes. 2 quick strikes from Gwen McGinnis. Well, 1-1 from Gwen McGinnis. That one's popped up. And an easy catch for New Paver. 1 away. We'll see if this is similar to the lineup that Tampa will bring for next game, but I also imagine we'll probably see a couple of substitutions, a couple of shuffles, multiple utility players listed for the Spartans roster. So imagine flexibility will be a key trait that some of these rookies are going to have. Ball 1 outside.
And you have a big enough roster And it's early enough in the season that I think regardless of the outcome of this game, even if Tampa can't come back from these 2 runs down, there's enough on this roster that you can just turn it over, let a bunch of people get a shot.
Great catch by Newpaver, making up for the ball she couldn't contain earlier with a nice leaping grab. 2 away.
Hit just as hard as that grounder, too. Hot shot, and, well, that's just why they call it the hot corner.
Ironically, it's easier to have a ball that's going high than low in that situation. And, Newpaver has to be absolutely loving that play right there. It definitely isn't her fault, but she might still be feeling a little bit of a sting from that play that had happened earlier that brought home the second run for the Eagles. But I got to say, apart from that almost impossible to field ball, she has looked good at the hot corner today with another defensive stop. This one's a tricky play for Kreidler. Fair ball, out number 3. Almost a swinging bunt by Maddie Drummond, but for Gwen McGinnis, a painless 6th inning as Tampa still trails. They've got 6 outs to work with when we come back. And we are back. 2-0 lead for the Eagles. Dixon needs 6 more outs to secure the victory. There has been some action over in the Eagles bullpen, but I imagine, unless there is an emergency, Dixon will get the chance to go the distance. Earlier in the broadcast mentioned her career high strikeouts of 15. That happened all the way back in 2023. The scoreline for her that day, 2 hits, 2 runs allowed, 3 walks, and 15 strikeouts, and a pretty convincing Eagles win.
She's only got 5 today, but, you got to put this up with any one of her past performances for Dixon. She has been excellent at just controlling the ball and not putting it in easy places for Tampa to hit.
Especially when you think about going up against a team that just came off of a national championship appearance. Granted, with a lot of roster turnover, but still, what a performance to start the season for Dixon as she looks to hold Tampa scoreless for what would be a 3rd consecutive game. 2-1 count, though. That is going to put Kenzie Reynolds ahead. Reynolds, Zekman, Newpower. The players due up. On the ground to second. There will be time for the throw. 1 away. An easier grab this time for Kylie Brewster.
Yeah, just a routine play, some slow hops off a ball that didn't really come off the barrel of Kenzie Reynolds, and that is what Dixon has been finding. She's just been finding that little neck of the bat and those skinnier spots to induce all this soft contact here from Tampa.
1 away, line to left field, and that is a 2nd hit in the game for Aubrey Zekman, and the tying run is in the hands of Jenna Newpaver,
who has the other 2 hits for Tampa.
Yeah, these 2 at the top of the order have been getting the job done for the Spartans, already filling the Fantone and Keister-shaped holes in the lineup, the 3 and 4 dominating in the 1 and 2.
Yeah, and that's where you want to start. You want to have your leadoff hitters getting on base and hitting well, but it's been after that where the production has unfortunately dropped so far for Tampa.
Strike 1 to Newpaver. Great debut at the plate for her. And in the field, if you think about the leaping catch she just had in the previous inning, 2 for 2 on the day. That one high, ball 1. Her previous hit could have been for extra bases, although the inning came to an end as Zekman rounded second. It was thrown out on a good job by Seat out in left field. 1-1 on the way for Newpaver. Down low, 2-1. She'll get ahead in the count against Dixon. And there is going to be a talk in the circle. I don't know if that'll be Dixon's day done, but they will interrupt the at-bat with a quick conference. So interesting call to see here. They did have someone stretching and tossing in the bullpen. Shaylee Rodriguez is the head coach. And I don't know if they will be making the change or whether this will be a, hey, it's your first game of the year. You're already on 80-plus pitches. We don't want you to get too tired. If you're struggling a little bit, we'll pull you. But you're doing a good job so far. That's, I imagine, kind of partially how that conversation is going, as Tampa is also prepping to return to the plate to continue.
And I think it also comes at this particular time because it's rare that we've seen Dixon behind in the count. It's rare that we've seen multiple pitches in the same at-bat miss by a decent margin. So I think that Shaylee Rodriguez is just kind of, calming things down, just making sure that Dixon is alert and ready to get focused and, get these 5 more outs that Oklahoma Christian needs.
2-1 on the way to New Paver. Swing and a miss. And there was a little extra zip on that fastball. 2-2. Dixon would be in line for her first win of the season if she holds on to it. As I mentioned, she had quite a few wins last year and a lot of performances. 2-2. Swing and a miss. 2 away. And that is strikeout number 6 from Dixon.
2 fastballs in a row that both of them were just way out in front of the Spartan hitters. Dixon has just impeccable control on that fastball tonight.
Pressure on Kenna Kreidler. She went yard 3 times last year for the Spartans, and she'll take ball 1. Kreidler is definitely a player that'll have a lot of pressure on her this season. She is going to be responsible for, I imagine, a lot of Tampa's offense outside of those top 2. But so far, 2 strikeouts. Kreidler down the line, 1-1. Just a reminder as well, more softball coming up next here on the SSC Digital Network. The doubleheader as action continues from the Moley Family Stadium. But for now, the 1-1. Pitch to third, gets through on the high bounce. And it'll be runners at first and second with 2 away to set up for Cam Feast.
And all game long, it seems like Kenna Kreidler has just been hitting those ground balls down that left field line. And finally, one of them in fair territory and hard enough to get past the infield. Kreidler getting her first hit of the season on a good piece of batting.
First pitch to Feast. Strike 1. Feast had a strikeout in the first, and she quickly is going to secure her cleats. Gets a lot of trust from Coach Cantor to be in the cleanup spot today. She is a high-profile D1 transfer, the only player to actually transfer into Tampa's soccer roster in the offseason. Everyone else coming out of high school as a freshman. That breaking ball goes down low, 1-1. Be interesting to see who gets the call for game 2 in the circle for the Spartans. Could be Allison Specht, could be Coda Travers, could be Holly Steffes, could be Kelsey Winters. 1-1 now on the way. Swing and a miss. That changeup got her looking before. Throw to second. Runners back in time. I like the idea, though, from Yeager to try to catch the runner off guard, but it doesn't work out. Zeckman's back in time, and it's 1-2. Strike 3 on the high and outside corner. Feast goes down looking, and Dixon gets out of the jab. 2 on, 2 stranded. We'll be back in the top of the 7th. Last chance for the Eagles to extend their lead. Top of the 7th, it'll be Gwen McGinnis ready to go again. Sydney Seat, Macy George, Kylie Brewster, the 3 due up for Oklahoma Christian. Fun fact, their jerseys have a logo that is very similar to Ohio State. They've got like sort of that kind of Buckeye O in the center and like the text around it. But it is in Ohio State. It says Oklahoma. Squares the bunt, but it's foul, 0-1.
It's an interesting start to the inning with Sydney Seat trying to drop down a bunt, already up 2-0. I was kind of surprised that that's the go-to move with the lead this late in the game.
Well, it works, pulling the infield in, and that one's just out of reach of Hannah Yetter. Doesn't go too far into the outfield, but it is a leadoff single for Sydney Seat. And it's a leadoff runner on board for Macy George. I think they might look to advance the runner here with Brewster and Yeager due up. George did draw a walk earlier, but we'll see if she's tasked with putting one down on the ground or just trying to swing for the fences. Squares up, foul, strike 1.
Yeah, this is where the bunt makes sense because you don't need much right now if you're Oklahoma Christian. Yes, a 2-0 lead isn't a big one, but the Tampa offense has not been able to hit Jill Dixon today. So they just need to get base runners, move them in a scoring position, and if they can add a couple more runs, then that can only help Oklahoma Christian in their season opener.
0-2. That one tipped behind by George. Good job by McGinnis to get ahead early in the at-bat. Strike 3, they're going to call it on the outside. Unlucky for George, one away. And that is strikeout number 5 on the day for Gwen McGinnis.
And maybe her best place one to date. That was just right on the black part of the plate. Difficult pitch to identify if you're in the batter's box.
Runner goes, popped up foul, 0-1 on the hit and run. One on the way from Gwen McGinnis. That is strike 2. Quickly ahead in the 1 out at bat. Can she retire Brewster to get the second out on the board? This one hit to left field and foul. 0-2 on the way. Hit foul again. Oh-2 to Brewster. Hit to short. Caught on a diving grab. Throw to first, not in time. Almost a double play, but what a job by Kenzie Reynolds.
And that would have been one of the more impressive double plays you'll see all season. And I can say that confidently even in game 1. Had Reynolds made that throw to first, did a great enough job just to get to that ball and made it so close on the ensuing throw to try and double off Brewster at first.
First pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 1 from Yeager.
That's got to feel good for a pitcher when you can get the number 3 hitter way out in front of a pitch like Yeager just was on that breaking ball.
2 outs now for McGinnis before Last Chance Saloon, and now just needs one more strike. 0-2 to Yeager. 2 walks and a strikeout so far for her today. Both those walks came at a full count, but she would need to draw 3 more balls in a row to go back to a full 3-2 count. Fouled, 0-2, staying alive. 0-2 on the way. Popped foul. Changeup didn't fool Yeager, but she can't get clean contact. And they have been aggressive in sending the runner these last few pitches. I definitely like the idea. 0-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. McGinnis ends it with her 6th strikeout, stranding a runner on 1 hit, 1 left on, no runs and no errors. 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 4 walks and 6 Ks on the day for McGinnis. But it's last chance saloon. Can Tampa make a comeback happen? They've got 3 outs to work with. We'll be right back. So Jill Dixon will get the chance for the complete game shutout. She will have to take on Salisbury, Johns, and Trawick. 3 more outs for the Spartans. Taylor Storley, Josh Sperber on the call. Last year, Tampa was in a similar spot after a complete game effort from Gwen McGinnis. They were trailing 5-0 entering the bottom of the 7th. They would rally to win 6-5. And guess how many strikeouts McGinnis had in that performance? 6. How many does she have tonight? 6. Do we see a version of the 2026 Comeback Queens here on opening day? Frequently referred to Tampa as the Comeback Queens last season. They had a lot of late victories like that 5-0-1. With the first pitch from Salisbury's rolled to short, and 2 outs remain for Oklahoma Christian to start the season off in the win column. That'll bring up Abby Johns. Unlucky for Salisbury, who falls to 0 for 3 on her initial debut as a Spartan. Johns struck out last time, also had a flyout earlier on a deep fly ball to center field. Doesn't look like Cantor's calling for any pinch hitters yet. Might see that if we get to 2 outs. Ball 1 just outside from Dixon. Lined foul, 1-1. Good take on the first pitch and a good swing on the second pitch. Again, outside of those top 2, Tampa's really been struggling to get the base runners. The only other hit and base runner actually came from Kenna Kreidler. Tampa wants a chance right here. They'll need something to change right here and right now. Here's the 1-1. Tipped back, 1-2. One, 2 on the way. Fouled back. Still 1-2. Last season, Dixon picked up 29 games started and 13 complete games. 5 of them shutouts. Would like to start 2026 with 1 as well. And good job battling by Abby Johns, staying alive. Johns last year in just 5 tries to the plate had 2 hits, both of them doubles. Also drew a walk. A little bit of a ways away from drawing a walk here. Swing and a miss. Number 8 for strikeouts for Dixon. Tampa down to their last out. And it's in the bat of Joey Trawick. 2 away in the bottom of the 7th. Trawick had a ground out and a pop out today. First pitch on the way from Dixon. Line to center field, but that's going to drop at the glove to the second base player. Looked like it was going a lot further than it actually did. And it's Oklahoma Christian coming out on top to start the opening day doubleheader. Jill Dixon, a masterclass in the circle today. gets her first complete game, first win and first shutout of the season. 7 innings, 5 hits, 0s in the run column, 0s in the walk column, and 2 0s in the strikeout column. 8 for the day. She'll improve to a 1-0 record on the season. The loss goes to Gwen McGinnis, who had a very nice, high-quality start, but in the end, a sac fly and an unlucky bounce do enough for the Eagles to end up on top. So stay posted, stay tuned, because we are not done yet from the Moley Family Stadium. In about 30 to 45 minutes' time, it'll be Game 2 of the doubleheader. The Spartans and Eagles get another chance to face off. Tampa would love to get some revenge and level their record to 1-1. Well, Josh, the winter's over. The spring is here. It is a defeat for the Spartans, but it's not just going to be a new game tomorrow. It's a brand new game in 30 minutes' time. Taylor Storley, Josh Sperber will be back shortly. Final score, Oklahoma Christian 2, Tampa Spartans 1.